A thread by Carlos Osuida. This harridan is like my communist brother. If a President Trump supporter did this, Trump would be angry. Let me tell you my story. Link in the thread. Woman on TikTok who harasses dying father to vote for Biden slammed on. Anyway, there's this little smirking Lady Macbeth who claims that she harassed her dying father into changing his vote to Biden. Carlos continues. Both my parents committed suicide in 2013 after they were diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic cancer. They panicked and became totally irrational, refusing to admit that they had cancer. My father died in a month, and my mother starved herself to death in 6 months. My father became so combative that it was impossible to treat him, so he went into hospice and died. The night of his death, he kept getting out of bed and trying to run, so they had to strap him down. No autopsy was done, but I'm sure he died of fear. My mother agreed to surgery and chemo, but she refused to eat, so she developed cachexia. Her body consumed itself, destroying her heart. The night before her death, she panicked and tried to change course, but you don't come back from cachexia. Both parents died in terror. Caring for them and begging them to survive, even though we weren't close, was indescribably horrible. My brother and I did the job. The other 4 siblings didn't even visit. They never even called. All 4 of them used our parents as ATMs. They felt guilty about their failures as parents. So as they got older, they both died at 85, they became easier for my siblings to manipulate. My communist brother was wholly subsidized by them. At both funerals, my communist brother tried to start political fights. I haven't seen him since 2013. Hopefully, I'll never see him again. He called earlier this year from New York to scream at me that he had COVID-19, but Trump's rules prevented him from being tested. Then how do you know you have the disease? I asked. Long pause. It's a mild case, he finally said. How do you know if you can't get tested? He changed the subject. But for once, I didn't let him off the hook. We went to the New York City Public Hygiene Enforcement and Re-Education Department of whatever the Orwellian name is and confirmed that the testing is up to individual doctors. Long pause. Then another accusation. I debunked all 10 or 12. He simply went back to the beginning and repeated that Trump wasn't allowing him to get tested. So I wished him well and hung up. See, he's completely insane, which is good to know. He recently told our uncle a tall tale, so for the first time in our lives, I researched him and found that he's an Antifa activist at the age of 55. Multiple arrests, multiple addresses, a cartoon character. But no more support from the parents, no more money. He can become a ward of the state of New York. I don't want my filthy capitalist money to soil the purity of his sanctified communist palms. That would be immoral, you know. You know what my brother and I didn't do as our deeply flawed parents lay dying? Badger them or confront them in any way. Their deaths were about them, not us. The past is dead. It can't be changed. They chose to not even comment on it, which is fine. We followed their lead. Only a scumbag would hector her dying father to vote a certain way. His love for them is an illusion, since you can't love a coffee maker or a loom or any other soulless machine. And the irony of telling us to vote for the man who respects women, lip service, rhetoric, empty words. Thank God this whole catastrophe is almost over. Trump's personal YouTube account increased its viewership by about 1,000% in the past 10 days or so. Link in the thread to Donald Trump's personal YouTube channel video, How to Spot a Zombie. Check it out. It's wonderful. Does he seem rattled?